You are not simply waking up feeling tired.
When you chronically deprive your biological system of deep, uninterrupted sleep architecture,
You are triggering a process of neurological autocannibalization. You are mathematically accelerating gray matter atrophy.
Society treats sleep as a passive state of rest, a luxury you can sacrifice for productivity.
This is a lethal biological misunderstanding. When you are awake, your cognitive engine burns cellular energy and produces toxic metabolic waste. Specifically, it produces a neurotoxin called amyloid beta, a primary biomarker for cognitive decline. If you do not enter the deepest phases of the sleep cycle, this toxic plaque accumulates, physically suffocating your neural pathways. When operating with this plaque buildup is not just exhausting, clinically, it is the neurochemical equivalent of operating under mild alcohol intoxication. Your bandwidth is destroyed. From the moment you wake up, a chemical called adenosine begins building up in your brain, creating physical sleep pressure. Caffeine does not give you energy. It simply blocks the adenosine receptors, masking the biological debt you are accumulating.
to survive this daily toxic load and clear the debt, your brain relies on a highly advanced biological plumbing system.
But this system only activates under one specific condition. During deep, slow-wave sleep, specialized glial cells force your brain tissue to physically shrink in size by up to 60%.
This allows cerebrospinal fluid to rush through the cranial cavity under high pressure,
Power washing the toxic amyloid beta out of your biological hardware.
If you rely on chemical stimulants and sheer willpower to push through a highly fragmented sleep cycle, your brain never shrinks.
The power wash never happens. You begin every single workday with a poisoned operating system. The most common reason you cannot access this deep restorative wash is a fundamental thermal and optical glitch. Your brain operates on a strict, temperature-dependent circadian lock regulated by the suprachiasmatic nucleus. To initiate the neurochemical cascade required to knock you unconscious and transition into deep sleep, your core body temperature must mathematically drop by 1 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. But modern digital light is entirely unnatural. When you stare at high-intensity screens after sunset, your brain is tricked into perceiving daylight. This violently halts the release of melatonin, the chemical messenger that signals your body to cool down and initiate the sleep sequence. Furthermore, if you consume a heavy meal within 3 hours of your sleep window, your digestive system generates massive metabolic heat. Your core remains hot, melatonin is suppressed, and your biological hardware actively refuses to shut down. Being unconscious does not mean you are sleeping. When your core is thermally elevated, you spend 8 hours trapped in superficial, low-value light sleep. Elite cognitive performance requires aggressive architectural optimization. You must force your system into the deepest biological trenches of the night. This is where human growth hormone is synthesized and physical tissue is repaired. But physical repair is only the first phase. This must be followed by uninterrupted rapid eye movement sleep. During REM, your brain completely shuts off noradrenaline, the stress chemical. This is the only time in your 24-hour cycle that your brain is devoid of anxiety. This allows you to process emotional trauma and permanently hardwire the complex data you consume during the day into your long-term cortex. Without REM, you wake up chronically anxious and forgetful. A failure in this architecture is a failure in your reality. To mathematically guarantee the glymphatic wash and the REM consolidation, you must enforce the protocol. Drop your ambient room temperature below 18 degrees Celsius. Terminate all artificial light exposure 90 minutes before baseline. Because caffeine has a quarter life of up to 12 hours, you must cease all stimulant intake by midday. Finally, enforce a strict 3-hour pre-sleep fasting window to allow your core temperature to plummet. Stop treating sleep as an annoying biological tax. It is the ultimate performance-enhancing mechanism in human neurobiology. Regulate the temperature. Clear the metabolic waste. Protect the hardware. You've now secured your deep work output and repaired your sleep architecture. But your actual brain structure is still highly vulnerable to the physical food you consume. Click here to discover the brutal reality of the gut-brain axis and learn exactly how your daily diet is chemically manipulating your daily anxiety.